Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Friday, the 1st of December. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. I'm also hoping you've got involved with your advent calendars. So at the time of uploading this video, we are just in the 1st of December. You are legitimately allowed to open your advent calendar. I would profess to you, I know I look like an old man, but my mum still buys me an advent calendar. She's never got out of the habit, and I'm not refusing the chocolate. It's the way it goes. So I shall be getting involved in my Reese's Peanut Butter Cup advent calendar at some point. I'll probably have it in the morning, but maybe with a coffee. Yeah, maybe I'll have a coffee. I'll have it with my coffee in the morning. But I still get bought an advent calendar by my mum. I mean, in one respect that's quite sad, but the other, I'm just very grateful that I've still got my mum and she wants to buy me an advent calendar. So you know what, it's things like that are important in life. All right. So anywho, less about the month of December. We still want the month of November to carry on, really, but there we go. Right, Friday. First time I've said this to you in a week. We've got more than one bet. We've got 3 bets. So the last time we had more than one bet was last Friday. So we are back in Friday gig. We're mainly focused at Dundalk, but I've got one bet for the jumps. I've just gone a little bit cautious, and I'll explain as I go with the jumps bet. But the total stake is actually £20. So it's a full day stake. There's a jumps bet in Yankee in the afternoon. Then we've got the main bet, which is a Dundalk Canadian / a Super Yankee, and then we're going to finish off with a combo double of the last 2 races at Dundalk. So if it's all gone wrong by 7:30, we've still got a chance in the last 2 races to redeem ourselves, or we could be facing into a £20 loss day. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, I know people think I should know. Some days I think it's great, and it's not. You never quite know, do you? Just keep playing it, and long term we'll be all right. So other than that, I've got a spin through Thursdays, which won't take very long. And I mentioned the golf it's not very good. The Frank Kennedy in the Australian not got going yet at the time making this in the second round, but he was mid pack after round 1, and Jacques Prinsley's had a nightmare in the South Africa, so not looking too good. I mean, I think Jacko's probably toast. If Frank kicks on round 2 in the early hours, then we might have some level of interest for that. We'll see. And as far as golf goes, there's only one tournament I'm going to look at next week, and then one the week after, and then there's a 3-week break for the golf anyway, where there's no major tournaments on. So might have a small interest next week and possibly the week after, and then we'll be on a 3-week break. And that's when we'll get involved in the PDC World Darts, as trailed yesterday. So, what did we do on Thursday? We had 3. The first 2, no good. Didn't really get involved, and I was out the back most of the way. And it was the last one, as you know. We took a chance on Michael Whitner's horse, second time in a handicap. Getting a bit closer, and Judy did placed 40-1 was the SP. So we got 450 back for the single, so we're 50p down. But it's interesting. It was an interesting observation. I felt that we had 3 horses. The last one placed at 40-1, and then I don't think there was a comment about it. People are just immune to the fact that 40-1 placed. Don't really, getting most days, don't you? So it's not very exciting. I think the challenge is when you've had a good few days like we had in sort of middle of November, then we lost 50p today, but 40-1 place is all right on a quiet day. We'll take it. But people get immune, I think, and then when it goes really, really bad, people get excited because you've got a 9-1 place. it's the psychology of the game. So 50p down, so I think that puts us 9.75 down, I think it is, for the week. I think it's 9, I think that's, I feel like that's right, 9.75 down. So we're just about half a stake days down after 3 vids. I think that's what my memory says. So, not the end of the world. All to play for going into Friday, Saturday. Although the frost or snow might scupper our plans for some of this stuff. So we finished November. Don't want to repeat. Like last night, I was just saying stuff wrong, left, right, and centre. When I'm tired, some of you know I've talked about this before. So I have dyslexia, and when I'm tired, it impacts verbally what I say. And I watch back the video, and I'm like, I'm just saying stuff wrong. I don't understand. Like in my head, it comes out right. But so I apologise again to Mick. He did ask me, and it will say something in the comments. I know his name is Mick Fenn, but last night I said Mick Finn. No idea why. I know, regulars on the channel, I know what people's names are, but stuff comes out wrong. So I am a little on the tired side. So if I'm ever saying things wrong, feel free to flag it to me. It's usually a tired dyslexic brain. The upside of my dyslexic brain is it helps me read the data very well. So when it's been doing lots of data reading, sometimes it gets a little bit tired, and then verbally I say the wrong thing. So people, some people don't get that. Some people think dyslexia is just like a thing where you write the wrong words. Yeah, you might write the wrong words, and my handwriting's appalling, and my spelling's not very good. But I can read form clearly. But it impacts other aspects as well. And for me, it means when I'm tired, I get verbally dyslexic, so the wrong words come out my mouth. So I can still communicate and I articulate things, but the wrong words come out. I remember when I first had a baby, and I remember going to the shop and I knew I was going to shop to buy milk and bacon, but it wouldn't come out my mouth. All that came out my mouth was sausage and cheese. And it might sound ridiculous to somebody. I'm a reasonably intelligent person. I knew what the words were, but out my mouth came sausage and cheese. I was like, I'm going up to the shop to buy sausage and cheese. And the response was, no, you need to buy milk and bacon. I was like, yeah, I know. I'm going to go sausage and cheese. No, anyway. Digression. So we finished the month 591 to the good. So brilliant. Second best month ever on the channel, and best month for percentage profit on the channel. So really, really good, and really just so needed. It's been a right battle, and now suddenly it doesn't feel like the year's been an absolute battle, but it has been. And it wasn't just one good day in November. We had a couple of particularly good ones and a couple of other nice ones that went with it as well. So it was all in all a very good month, November. Last year, December was really good to us, so we're not owed anything by December, but it would be nice to have a profitable month just to bump everything up a little bit, because it has been a bit of a struggle. But that being said, 17% profit, albeit some of that was recorded on Sky-based stats prior to that beginning of September. But that's more about where we should be. Last year, I've said many times, slightly overachieved on percentages. This year, now November's kicked it back in, probably a bit more about where we should be at. And interestingly, it's a bit early to make a true judgment, but it does look like, since I've made the adjustments to the stats, and some of you will recall I made adjustments to the stats, but I also changed and made subtle changes to some of the staking plans. So we've got set amounts for Yankees and Canadians and doubles and whatnot, so they're more fixed amount, and the singles, so we're up weighted singles, and we slightly down weighted the accumulator amounts. Early indications are that on average we are staking slightly less than we were prior to doing that, and obviously November's skewing it. November, if you just took in the November month, it means that we are making a better profit percentage return. But it was one of those things I took into account, the feedback from still there's people that will follow the channel and use Skybet, and Skybet is the best bookmaker to use to follow the channel. But I knew that a lot of people have had their accounts restricted, so I had to make changes, and had to make changes in a way that I felt I could still try and get the right percentage yield. And initially, September and October, I was looking like a crank, but we got there. All right, so that's that. I've mentioned the golf. I think I just got to go through the bets then, haven't I? I'll stop chuntering on. Show you what you want. Right, jumps. I'll talk you through what I've decided here. So I'm thoughtful. All the jumps meetings in the UK, they've all now got inspections on. And I think the one that's most risky, the way I've read articles and looked at weather forecasts, is possibly Doncaster. Neil's up in Musselburgh and saying it doesn't look great in terms of it's very, very cold out. But they got the racing on today, so I've gone with one at Musselburgh, knowing that's the second most likely to lose, and then Newbury looks the most likely to be on, although they're more concerned about Newbury for Saturday, which would be a massive shame if we lose the Newbury card on Saturday, because I've been looking forward to what was the Hennessy, now I think it was the Coral Trophy or something else it's sponsored by. So I've left out Doncaster, and I'll come back to that, but I'm hoping we get this on. But if we lose the Musselburgh meeting, then in theory I'm okay with what's left of the bet with that one going as a voided bet. If we lose Newbury and we're only on that one, that is not ideal. That's worst case scenario for meetings falling. If we lose Newbury but Musselburgh's on, then we've got a lot of money going on that horse. So some of you won't put this on till the morning, so it won't matter anyway. If you did lose Musselburgh, then my absolute advice, if Doncaster is on, is put something in the 3:10 at Doncaster. I'll come back to that. Anyway, 11.55, Musselburgh. One horse at Musselburgh from a value perspective that I like. Now let's try and pronounce Pronto Anita. Maybe it's Pronto Anita. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's like Pronto Anita. 22 to 1. 11.55, early race. Then we go Newbury, and there's a few decisions I've just gone on instinct on this, because it's sort of, it doesn't, some of these don't look quite like I would normally do. But the 115 Newbury Max of Stars, it's on the short side in terms of a horse I would select, but for me it should be much shorter. It should be very, very clear second favourite, that horse in that race. So I felt like there's value on Max of Stars at 13 to 2, or even though it's a bit shorter than I normally do on the channel. Then the 150, some reason I found myself on that race when really it does not look like a race I should be getting involved in. It's a novice chase. Technically any of them could put in a good show in that one. But I think Nickelback should be a lot shorter than that. I had it about 5 to 2, so I've put it in, but yeah, it's you make your own choices of what you want to do. But yeah, I've put Nickelback in at 9 to 2 because I make it 5 to 2. I think Hermes Allen is too short. Should be favourite, but too short. So we'll see. And then the 3.35, I'm going to keep a bit of faith. We backed it last time and it was a bit underperforming, but we're going to go again on Hurricane Harvey, 25 to 1. So it's 20p each way Yankee, and then 50p each way singles on Prontonita and Hurricane Harvey. Sky best, but only because they're offering 6 on that race. But basically everything else is the same. So it's 3, 3 and 2. Every bookmaker's the same. The only difference is Sky's got 6 and most bookies are 5. So then 365 Paddy Coral Labrador, 640 is the bet. So that is bet 1. 1 Musselburgh, 3 Newbury. Left out the 3:10 at Doncaster. I've had a lot of debate because the 3:10 at Doncaster is the best race of the day. It's the one that I felt was more likely to be abandoned, so that was a bit of a risk the night before. The other thing that I was challenged with is I found 3 horses around the 20 to 1 mark that I couldn't really split. And when I get a situation like that, it's fine, for having a little interest like myself, but from a channel perspective, if I've got 3 at that same odds, it's a good bet for combination doubles, but I didn't want to risk it in the combination doubles knowing that the meeting might get abandoned, so that was a bit of a risk. But I wouldn't want to pick one of them out and then put it in a Yankee, because I'm literally picking one out of 3. Now all 3 of them could make the frame, but yeah. What was it? I'll tell you the names if I remember the names. The 3 I was looking at were, and these aren't in any particular order, they were pretty similar, and they're all about 20 to 1. Ishmael, which I think was a handicap debutant for Kevin Frost, which I thought had an interesting profile. Copper Fox was in there, and something like Magna Moralia, something like that. Those are the 3. So if Doncaster's on tomorrow and you want to do some combination doubles with some other races, I'd say it's the best race for combination doubles. those were the three that I would be putting in. But from the channel, I've left it and put it not in the staking plan. So hopefully that makes sense. Doncaster's on, and you want to find some other stuff to put it with. That's what I'd be interested in, but I'm not putting any channel stake on the race when I'm looking at the night before and the way I'd do it. So yeah, didn't want to pick one out and put it in Yankee and leave the other two out. It would be a combination doubles bet, but I didn't want to risk it when I found two at Dundalk that I could do. But basically the Dundalk races are my second and third best races. The Doncaster race is best. Alright. Okay, carry on. Main bet. Yeah, so this one, it's one of them ones. It looks a bit ridiculous, doesn't it? I got a worry bead about this one. I got a worry bead that says, I wonder how many people will be able to get the bet on, and how much stake you'd be able to get on, because this kind of bet done repeated lots with lots of different bookmakers in lots of places is going to start attracting attention, and yeah, so it's a tricky one because it felt like it's the right bet to do. I had there's 5 handicaps, and I had a clear read from a value perspective of standout horse in each of those 5 races. So the right thing to do to me was felt like put them together. I could have left one out and done it as a Yankee, which I think would have been a bit easier for people to put on. So you make your own choices. The one possible with this one is the front one there, Furnace Creek, which we've backed before. I mean, I think we've backed all of those horses at some point in the channel existence, but Furnace Creek, it only ran on Wednesday, so there is definitely a chance that they might think it's come a bit too soon and might pull it out. The other horse in that race that's a way shorter price, about 6 to 1, is Pulse of Shanghai, that I would be interested in. But to be honest, if that had come out, I may well have just left the race and done it with the 4 and maybe left Pulse of Shanghai out. I'm not quite sure. It'd have been about 50-50 call on that one. There's not much wiggle room on Pulse of Shanghai, but you actually got quite a weak standard of race. The top 4 look really good, decent. Furnace Creek's the one I'm taking to upset the apple cart if it runs. So Furnace Creek 33s. Bold Approach. Some weird stuff going on with who's training that horse between Jim Bolger and Sheila Lark. Is it that one? No, I think it's that bottom one. That's the funny one. That one has changed. That has changed about though. So Bold Approach. I'm getting mixed up with this. So Bold Approach had been changed by a different trainer. It was Jim Bolger's. He didn't, and then he'd give it to someone else. He's got it back again. And the interesting thing about this horse is the corresponding race 2 years ago it was placed, and the corresponding race 3 years ago it was placed. In the corresponding race a year ago it didn't run. And it's massively come down the handicap mark. So the fact that Jim Bolger's taken that horse back, I think there's interesting significance about him running it in this race where it's got previous 2 times. And say corresponding race, basically the end of November on a 2 mile. So this is a 2 mile on the 1st of December, so it's pretty similar. Couldn't tell you exactly as the corresponding race. I didn't do complete diligence on that. But yeah, I felt 33 is well worth a go. It hasn't got close enough the last couple of times, but I think stretching it back to 2 miles is probably a good thing. So we've got Furnace Creek at 33s, Bold Approach 33s, then 7:30 Silver Nemo. That should be single figures, 16 to 1. It is an apprentice race, which does add a level of uncertainty to it, but it's got very solid form and should easily be 8-9 to 1 Silver Nemo. And then we're going to go 8 o'clock. It's probably the riskiest of the lot, I'd say. Mahalal, 40 to 1. And then 8:30 Action Motion. That's the one that's got a right funny thing between Dennis Hogan and Sheila Larkin. They literally look like they swapped who's training it each day in the last week. It's very strange. But yeah, from a handicap mark, it's definitely got a mark that says, although the last couple of runs, if you looked at it from bare form on places, you wouldn't probably pick it. It's on a handicap mark that is well capable of getting involved. So got 5 nice prices there. So we are in it to win it. 10p each way Canadian or Super Yankee, 50p each way singles on all 5, and 20p each way double on the top 2. Furnace Creek, Bold Approach. 10.60 is the bet. Sky Best. Then quite specific on this one because this first race, there's not many paying 4 places. Paddy and 365 are next best, and then Betfred, Betway, and Boyle Sports. Boyle Sports, I feel like it was only a few months ago, sort of bigging up Unibet and saying how useful Unibet was, and they've now got rowed back on their place terms. Boyle Sports are starting to come to the fore a little bit more at the moment, so worth keeping an eye on Boyle Sports. So Betfred, Betway, Boyle Sports are joint 4th best. 1060 is the bet. Okay, and then the last one. This is the combo double that I've done for the channel. So Dundalk, last 2 races, 8 o'clock, Mahallel 40s, and then we've put in Curzon Queen at 10s and Nevada Brave at 9s. And then the 8:30 Action Motion, and we put in Hinamoa that we mentioned last time when it was a non-runner, in again. So my call on that one for the main bet was Action Motion at 3 times the odds. It presented a lot more value. So Hinamoa's got a better chance of framing than Action Motion, but not 3 times better chance. Roughly speaking, 6 times 25p each way doubles, so 6 possible combinations of doubles. £3 is the bet. Sky best because they're offering 5 on that one, I think, and then it will be anyone else's 4 and 4 pretty much. So 365, Paddy, Coral, Ladbrokes. That's where you want to go. £3 is your bet. Okay, £20 stake, that's that. Next video is, I was looking at Friday night, but given the weather, I can't do the video Friday night because I don't know what's going to be on or not on Saturday, because it's just going to continue to be colder and colder. So there may well be some abandonments on Saturday. So it will be a Saturday morning vid. I'll try and get it up as early as I can because I know there'll be some early races and things, but it'll be a Saturday morning vid. And then the outlook is I'm thinking it's unlikely I would do a bonus video on Sunday. There's a couple of big fields potentially, and I will be having a look to see if I find any little hidden gems in this Southwell Jumpers Bumpers meeting. But at the moment, I would say it's unlikely I'll do a bonus video, but likely there'll be a couple of horses in the comments for Sunday, but hard to tell. And then when we get to Monday, no scheduled video, but the all weather in the UK is back next week, so that will be good for us, well, particularly those of us who like a bit of all weather like me. All right, that's me. Thank you very much. Have a good Friday. See you on, enjoy your advent calendar if you've got one. If you haven't, probably go and get one really cheap right now in the supermarket. Otherwise, I'll see you Saturday morning. Thank you very much. Bye bye.